Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadroad.com. With your morning horn is your sip of chaga coffee. Today is, what is today? Good question. The 20th of May. That leaves us, 10, 11 days until the United States runs out of money to pay bills. A lot of people saying, oh, it's no big deal. So what? Who cares? They'll just print more and it'll be fine. It doesn't matter if they print more or if they don't, or if they do. And I'll show you why in a second. But make sure you check out what I posted yesterday or the day before. I'm not sure when I posted it. My discussion with Jenny Moonstone. We talk about the debt ceiling chaos, and I asked her point blank: Are they going to agree to a deal by the in 10 days, or will they not? Yeah. She pulled 4 times in a row. She pulled the same card. So go check that out. Very interesting discussion. Also, we talked about BlackRock being the only silver short on the big side that is just going to stand their ground until the hell freezes over. I have a feeling that they're going to use some kind of trickery as far as when they shut down SLV, and they will shut down SLV. If you own SLV, you will not participate in the gains of silver. They are going to shut down SLV. Maybe you'll get some money back. Doubtful, though. Get your silver in your own possession. Anyway, I do think BlackRock is the final silver short that's going to try to stand their ground. They'll get destroyed by the good guys, and but they'll justify this massive short position they're putting on by saying, oh, we own the silver within the SLV ETF. Now, in the prospectus, it doesn't say that they can take ownership of that silver. It's just the authorized participants can. But they could also have derivative side contracts with the authorized participants. Hey, you want to be an authorized participant? I got a side contract you got to sign that won't be part of the prospectus because it's got nothing to do with you. So the silver will go to you, but then to us. And then that's what justifies their shorting. Otherwise, it'd just be a naked short, and there'd be questions about that. So that's my take. Who knows? We'll find out soon enough, right? Anyway, go check that out. We also talk about XRP. What's the decision on that case, and when the new crypto bull market will come. Go check that out. By the way, Jenny just posted on her YouTube channel, Jenny Constantine YouTube channel, part 1 of the 7 Hermetic Principles. Great discussion with Lexi Eisenhower. Go check it out. Jenny's doing a great job over there. If you want more Jenny, go over to her site and subscribe. Also on Patreon, she does stuff weekly, so go check that out as well. All right. So what I want to talk about today is why now? Why now? A lot of people say, no, Bix, that's too soon. The world can't implode this year. That's too soon. Oh, my God. Are you for real? Well, myself, I've been in this game 23 years, so it's not happening real fast, if you get my drift. But the end's going to be quick. Absolutely, the end will be quick. Some people have been fighting this fight for a hell of a lot longer than I had. Ted Butler has been in the silver fight since the early 80s and has presented all the regulators and the DOJ and everybody with enough evidence to put away the market riggers, but they refuse to do so because they're part of the con. They are part of the con until they want to end the system. I'll get to that in a second as well. All right, great discussion on the zero hedge premium part. Why the end of the debt crisis triggers the next $1.2 trillion banking crisis. So it doesn't matter what they do. They have already destroyed the Treasury market, which is the number one collateral asset. It's used as collateral for everything, including the massive derivative market. So yes, if they pass the debt ceiling, it still causes massive amounts, or they raise the debt ceiling, massive amounts of chaos in the derivative market because of the chaos that will be from the treasuries. Because right now, it doesn't matter how much they give them. They can raise the debt ceiling $1 trillion. it won't last, and it will cause a bunch of other things. A lot of money will, if they pass the debt ceiling or raise the debt ceiling, massive amounts of money are going to come out of the small and medium-sized banks and into the Fed, the Treasury market, as far as like through mutual funds and all that. I mean, why would people keep any money in the bank where they don't pay you any interest? Why not go just buy treasuries? And that's what will happen. And everybody will be bidding on them. It's just the chaos is, it doesn't matter which way they go, if they pass it or not. Now, I don't think they're going to raise the limit, at least in the near term, which means a huge, probably a faster problem and something you can really point to. Otherwise, you'd have to point to the banks. Oh, these banks mismanaged it's all the Fed did this. The Fed created money out of thin air and thought there'd be no consequences. The Fed and the US Treasury and the Democrats and the Republicans. Let's throw blame where blame is due. Blame is due to the Federal Reserve System, unbacked fiat money. Blame is due to the US Treasury, mismanagement of the Treasury, and especially the US Mint. Blame is due to our government politicians who are completely destroying our country. Blame on the deep state, George Soros. You can name the blame, but the end result is the end of the unbacked fiat monetary system, and we move on to something new. Now, those people who we are going to blame will not be the deciders. No, they won't turn to XRP to save us. That was the biggest con, and one of the best cons in crypto, besides the one that said, what was that? BitConnect? Back in the day, the Ponzi scheme, so many Ponzis. The whole concept that all the central banks are going to turn to XRP is just ridiculous. They've already fixed the problem of being reliant upon the Swiss system. They've already gone around that. No longer need XRP. Oh well. People are just. But the guys over at XRP, boy, did they make a lot of money. Yeah, pumping that crazy notion that the banks are all going to turn to XRP. It's just crazy. Anyway, so also one of the things that goes on behind the scenes that I've been screaming about is the derivative market. I think it's at 2.5 quadrillion. Nobody really knows how big the derivative market is because you have your exchange traded derivatives, which are kind of above board, sorta, in the many trillions of dollars, and then you have your OTC derivatives. Over-the-counter derivatives that are kind of reported, sorta. The OTC derivatives, the last reporting that $600 trillion with a T, trillion. Every one of those derivative contracts has a counterparty. And if that counterparty leaves, poof, that derivative goes. And then it all comes back to a self-fulfilling implosion of doom. So, yeah, it is kind of crazy right now. Also, if you guys are wondering, here's the stats for these U.S. Treasury securities. Remember, this missing the debt ceiling means they're defaulting on the treasuries. They're not going to make payments to them. Even if they do, it doesn't really matter because the medium banks will go anyway. But how big is this market? The issuance of treasuries is $6.1 trillion as of April. Trading $664 billion is the average daily volume. So you think it's a big deal when they trade $664 billion daily? That's a big deal. And if that market gets thrown into chaos, remember, I mean, what did they need? They needed $800 billion for the bailout of 2008, right? This is in multi-trillions of dollars for a bailout. Outstanding treasuries as of April is $24.3 trillion. Now, most of these, a big chunk of them, are used as collateral in other deals. So you can leverage up and use more derivatives and just be crazy. Hey, let's make more money on top of our more money. That's what the banks have been doing. So, yeah, I think the banks are shitting bricks right now. Absolutely. And by the way, credit default swaps will not work because you got to have the other side of the credit default swap being financially sound to pay off credit default swaps. If the whole system starts falling apart, no, there'll be no credit default swap payoffs on U.S. Treasuries. I don't know why people would buy them. It would be complete implosion of the whole system. You're wasting your money. You want to hedge your bet on US Treasuries? You go buy gold and silver or crypto. Buy Litecoin. It's the right coin. People are saying, okay, let's just say, for yucks and giggles, that June 1st comes and the politicians can't agree on raising the debt ceiling. Here are the three biggest layouts of cash. Now, this is just about the next payment. This is not about the collateral part of U.S. Treasuries blowing the system apart. This is just who's going to not get paid. The number one largest payment area is Social Security, the old people, the poor people, income security, Medicare, the sick people, and Medicaid, the sick people. Okay, United States of America, you're not going to pay Social Security. You're not going to pay for the EBT cards. You think there'll be any rioting? You think they'll charge the gates of Washington and every capital around the country? Of course they will. They already are, and it doesn't take much. So yeah, that's the biggest. And then the Department of Defense. Now, this is the sacred cow. Nobody messes with the Department of Defense, or they'll blow you up. They'll take you out. They have the ability to take you out. Will they do it? And then the third is the interest on the bonds. Well, I think the bonds are already kind of going crazy. So if they don't pay the interest and say, well, we have to pay people on Social Security, Medicare, and the EBT cards and all that, if that's the priority that Janet Yellen chooses, you destroy the entire system also, because the U.S. Treasury debt is the largest debt in the world. And oh, by the way, everybody owns it, and it's used as collateral for every other derivative transaction, especially look at the acceptable collateral from the COMEX. Yes, the silver and gold markets. Acceptable collateral is Treasury bills, U.S. notes, U.S. bonds. And the U.S. Treasury bonds may not exceed 10 years. What happens if all the collateral goes bad in the derivative market, on the gold and silver derivative market? Yes, U.S. Treasuries are held as collateral for all the shorts. And what happens when they get called into question? Holy shit. Their value changes very rapidly, and you got to come up with more collateral, and these guys don't even have more collateral because every part of their business is going down. So, of course, it's a big deal. It's the end of the world, literally, into the financial world. So that might be happening anyway, as here's a discussion on Zero Hedge. On Friday, U.S. deposit outflows accelerated again last week, led by small banks. So deposit outflows is the destruction of a bank. Remember, when you make a deposit, they create it's a 10-to-1 ratio. A little higher with some banks, a little lower. 10-to-1, they create and they put it, that's how money is created. They buy Joe's house and Fred's house, blah, 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 blah. Right? So they're making 10 times the money that they're paying you, this little measly little interest rate of 1%, 2%, whatever they're paying. But they're going out and making all this money, and it's great when things are going well. When things go wrong and they start losing money, all they have to lose is 10% of what they have, such that their entire portfolio disappears. Because they have to keep certain deposit ratios. And that's just poof. And all these assets that are underwater but not declared yet, it's just the book value. Well, when book value turns into actual value, when you try to sell those bonds to make a shortfall on your deposits. And that's what they're afraid of, that people will come in and say, I need my money back, or I want to buy gold and silver because that's out of the banking system. I have here, Andy Scheckman texted me the other day. As a matter of fact, I'll read you the text. I'll leave out specific names, but okay. He texted me, and he said he's having problems. People are trying to send him money, and the banks are stopping them. Here's a $50,000 order. She went to the bank, placed a wire transfer, has a receipt for it. She emailed this morning saying the wire was on its way. She called me and said she received a call from the branch manager saying they canceled the wire because they don't think it's a good idea for her to purchase precious metals. They can lose value, he said. They wanted to meet with her, and she declined the meeting and is overnighting a check. just say, oh my God, now. If your bank says, I think that's too risky of an investment, pull up the derivative bubble and show them how many derivatives they have on their side, and ask them, hey, what is the current market value of your deposits? You know those treasuries you hold in deposit? What is their current market value? How deeply underwater are you? And you're telling me that I shouldn't buy gold and silver? Crazy. It is getting crazy out there. One day, very soon, probably in the next month, they will stop allowing transfers to gold and silver companies. The banks, because the banks can do that. You have to go through them to get to the gold and silver. Do not wait to get your gold and silver. Get your gold and silver and wait. So right now, yep, deposits are flying out, and that's the death knell for these the small and medium-sized banks, ultimately the large banks. I mean, the large banks are in just as much trouble as the small banks. It's a different kind of trouble, but it is still just as much trouble. All right, I want to show you something that on the road to Ruta, I did this analysis 10 years ago. 10 years ago, there was a movie called Oz the Great and Powerful. Oz the Great and Powerful. On the private road, it's still there on the private road. I do a full analysis of the movie, and it is exactly what we're going through right now. And the people involved are represented. For example, the guy who's running around, I forgot what they call him. His name is Oscar Diggs. Oscar Diggs is from Omaha, Nebraska. Oscar Diggs is Warren Buffett. I guarantee you. And his little monkey that he has as a pet even looks like Charlie Munger. He's got these big glasses. This is, if you know that the media, there's like an unwritten rule that they got to tell you what is going to happen before they do it, but you're not supposed to see it. It's like a lot of the Simpson episodes, like the 9/11 Simpson episode, and all these episodes that they'll tell you things before it happens. This movie, wow, so much was told. Especially, stuff I loved is like the treasure in the Grand Canyon. When is that going to be available to people? When is all that gold going to come out? And here's part of that, a little snippet. I'm not going to play too long because I don't want to get dinged with the copyright bullshit. Here it is.
It's the Emerald City. You are here at last, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled. This is my sister, Evanora. I'm here to serve you.
So now she opens the vaults, and this is literally in the Grand Canyon. We did a remote viewing on it. This is there, and there are other places like this, but check this out.
The royal treasure of Oz. It belongs to you. But only after you defeat the Wicked Witch.
You get that? The royal treasure of Oz. It belongs to you, but only after you defeat the Wicked Witch.
Royal treasure of Oz. It belongs to you. But only after you defeat the Wicked Witch.
Just how wicked is she?
How wicked are the banks? How wicked is the deep state? How wicked is the World Economic Forum and the BIS and the Illuminati? That's about the ultimate in wicked. And that's what we're fighting against. Great movie. Go check it out. Oh, by the way, at the end of this movie, guess who wins and guess who's dressed exactly like a silver eagle and wins with a wand of silver, killing the fiat monetary witch. You want to see it? You don't believe me? Watch this.
In the name of my father, I banish you from the Emerald City, never to return.
There it is. There it is. There it is. There's the silver eagle banishing the banking cabal with the wand of silver wand and silver coming out of the wand. Get your silver today. You can't make this shit up. I mean, we are living in a planned thing. I don't know how many times this has happened in the past, but for me, I think it's the first time I've experienced it. Are there many different timelines? Could be. But clearly someone knows what's going on. So, That's what I got for you today. I know, crazy. That crazy Bix talking about comics and TV shows again. Hey, why did the Federal Reserve Bank of New York put me, Bix Weir, into their comic? They call me Glix. Goes around singing about the Federal Reserve. Why? Because I nailed it. I saw what they were doing. Back in 2007, that's when I invented the Road to Rooter theory because of what the Fed Boston did. And that's the amazing thing. Go to roadtorooter.com. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch these 2 videos. Part 1 is Secrets of the Fed, and Part 2, Golden Oldies to the Crypto Future. That explains how I discovered the Road to Rooter stuff. How I discovered there was good guys behind the scenes working to take out the bad banking cabal. This is long before Q, long before Pizzagate, long before all that bullshit. But I didn't invent it. I'm just telling you what the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston published. And I walk you through how to read it. Anyway, you want to join the private Road to Rooter? Go to subscribe today, and we will send you this coin, the coolest silver coin ever made, the Rooter Lives coin, each individually numbered, double stamped, certificate of authenticity in a case, and the whole thing for a 1-year subscription or renewal. It's going to be crazy all week, so I'll try to update you as many times as possible. This is Bix. I'll talk to you later.